Good morning, everybody. Rob here in Bakersfield, California on the Sportster 72. And welcome to this week's Throwback Thursday. This episode is going to be titled The Dirty Diaper and the D.E.A. I was working the morning watch out of Eastern Division up in Sierra Mesa, the one-man unit, 46 John. It was a Sunday morning. Things were really quiet, not much going on. Everybody was either still asleep or off to church. Now I get a radio call to go check the welfare of a toddler running around in the streets in a diaper. So on the way there, I'm figuring by the time I get there, I'm going to have the RP standing there with some little toddler in a diaper. I'm going to have to go find out where he lives. Well, I get there, and there's no RP out there. And instead, there's the kid. Turns out to be a little boy about 2 years old, dressed in nothing but a diaper, a dirty diaper at that, walking around out in the street. I mean, if I had called that in, you know, as a citizen, I would have stayed out there with the kid to make sure it didn't get hurt. Nope. So I park, get out of the car, go over there to see the kid, and my backup unit pulls up about the same time. And I kneel down to the little kid and I tell him, or I ask him, I go, "Where's mommy? Let's go find mommy." So the little boy takes me by the hand and we start walking. And he's walking around looking. We get about 3 or 4 houses down from where I contacted him at. And he starts walking towards this duplex, and the front door is sitting wide open, so I figure, okay, that's got to be the house. And the backup officer and I and the little boy go walking up there, front door is wide open, the kid goes walking in, we go in with the kid. There's mommy laying face down on the couch, passed out, drunk and high on drugs. There's all kinds of drugs and drug paraphernalia on the coffee table next to her, and beer bottles strewn all over the place. The little boy walks over to his mom laying there on the couch and leans up against the couch and looks up at me, so I go over there and I check her vitals to make sure she's not dead. And she's alive, you know. She's just passed out. Well, at this point, I'm already thinking she's going to be a caller for endangering the welfare of the child. If she's not taking good care of him, I mean, he's out wandering around in the morning in a dirty diaper out in the street, and she's passed out on the couch, and there's all kinds of drugs laying all around, and alcohol, and needles, and all kinds of crap, you know. So I tell the other officer, keep an eye on her and the baby while I check the rest of the house, see if there's any other kids in the house. So I go down the hallway and open the bedroom door, see if there's any other kids in there, and to my surprise I find a indoor marijuana grow operation. We got grow lights hanging from the ceilings, and the walls are lined with aluminum foil, or as you guys over there in the UK pronounce it, aluminium foil. And then there's marijuana plants in pots all over the floor and on tables in different states of growth. There were some about 4 feet tall and some only a couple inches high. And if I remember correctly, it was something like 130 plants by the time I ended up cataloging all of it for evidence. So anyways, I go back out to the living room where the officer's at, and he's trying to wake the mom up, and she ain't waking up. So I took a couple of ammonia capsules that I carried with me to wake drunks up with, and popped those under her nose, and that brought her around, and she sat up. She's completely disoriented and confused, didn't know what was going on. We tried to ask her, you know, if she had any other kids besides that one, and that's the only one she got. Well, we tell her she's under arrest for endangering the welfare of her child. And we're going to take the child and put him in protective services, child protective services. And she's going to jail. And I asked her where the kid's diapers, bags at and stuff so we could change his diaper, put some clothes on him before taking him away. She said down the hall in another room, so we go down there and check the other room and find some diapers. And that room's full of drug paraphernalia and crap too. So I come out with the diaper and some clothes to take care of the little boy. In the meantime, sergeant shows up to find out what's going on, what we got, because, you know, it's a real slow morning, and so I, you know, explain everything to him, what's going on. So I get him to have the cover officer who's going to take the kid down to CPS for me after I get done changing his diaper and putting some clothes on him. Gonna have another officer come and take the mother down to county jail, and I get to spend the next few hours cataloging evidence and doing the reports. There's so much there that had to send the sergeant back to the substation to get more evidence bags, because I didn't have enough with me, and neither did all the other officers. We took every bag that they had, carried with them. It was still going to take more bags than that to put all the plants in. And I'd been there for probably a good hour, and my sergeant's still there helping me catalog all the evidence and keep an eye on it as I'm carrying it out to my trunk in the backseat of my car, so nobody in the neighborhood comes and rips it off out of the patrol car. And I hear this commotion going on outside, so I go out to find out what's going on, and here's this guy out there with his ID and stuff. He's a D.E.A. agent, drug enforcement agent, and he's all pissed off because we just raided his drug house that they'd been sitting on for several months, building a case for drugs growing and selling and everything. And he's all pissed off because we didn't call them in on the bust. He's pissed off because we just ruined their whole 2-month surveillance they had going on and all this stuff. And like I tell him, I go, well, if you'd have bothered to let us know you had the house under surveillance, we would have known to call you in on it. But you didn't tell us, so we didn't know, and I just stumbled across it on a check the welfare case. So then he's all worried, you know, well, did you get search warrants? I said, no, I didn't need a search warrant. I had to go in the house and check the welfare of the mom, make sure she wasn't dead, and check the rest of the house, make sure there weren't any other kids in the house. So it was all totally legal search of the house and confiscation of all the evidence. And then his whole thing was, well, you know, he wanted to be included in on the arrest and everything. I was tired of talking with him and turned him over to my sergeant, and my sergeant told him, well, if you guys want to be involved in it, you can contact our detectives on Monday, and they'll work it out with you and work out whatever details there are. And if you want to talk to her and, you know, see if you can flip her and go higher up, that's fine. You know, we don't really care. I mean, all we cared about is that we saved the little kid and busted the house. So he goes off all pissed, and I continue collecting up all the drug paraphernalia and the pot plants and everything, and I ended up spending the whole rest of my shift on that one case. Finally get all the stuff collected up and in my car, and lock the house up, head off to the substation to impound all the evidence and do up my reports. And for the next 2 weeks after that, we kept getting all the neighborhood teenagers who were going over and breaking into the house and committing burglaries. Because the rumor in the neighborhood was that they had gotten busted. Their local drug dealer got busted, but that the house was full of drugs and money that we didn't find. So all the kids were going over there and breaking into the house looking for drugs and money. And I think we made another 6 arrests out of that house for burglary. And I guess the DEA contacted our detectives Monday morning, and they were still all pissed off because we'd blown their whole surveillance thing they did going on. And it got into a real big pissing match between our detectives and the DEA because we didn't call them in on it. And it's like we tell them, we don't call the DEA in on our daily drug arrests. It's only if it's like a big super duper major thing, you know, and it's something we can't handle ourselves, which was very rare. I mean, wasn't that big a deal. We couldn't handle it. And I guess they ended up talking to her and getting her to flip over on all her contacts, and I guess the DEA made a whole bunch more arrests off of it. I don't know if she ever got her kid back or not. That was my main concern, is the safety of the kid. Because when I walked into that house, there was half empty beer bottles sitting there on the coffee table. There was needles laying there. Looked like you know, white powder. I assumed it to be cocaine. I didn't bother testing it. I just collected it up. There was a bong sitting there and a bunch of pot laying all around. So, you know, the kid could have easily got into that stuff and overdosed and died. Anyways, just a short little story of how just a check the welfare case call can lead to a big major drug bust, and how not to make friends with the DEA. I don't know why, but after that they were never really happy with me. I mean, I never really ever had to call them in on any other bus. They would show up occasionally on bus I was making, and they were always pissed off because they didn't get called in. But you know, if other agencies don't tell you what they're doing, how are you supposed to know? Anyways, that's my little rant for today. Stupid parents and agencies not working together. So, hope y'all enjoyed it. See you later. Bye-bye.